Let me start with something uncomfortable. You're standing at the grocery store checkout. Your total comes to $147.83. You tap your card, grab the bags, walk out. And then it hits you. You forgot to scan your loyalty card. You just lost $2.14. And for the next 20 minutes, the drive home, unloading groceries, putting things away, that $2.14 eats at you. You feel annoyed. You feel stupid. You feel like you failed financially. Meanwhile, in your driveway sits a car with a $680 monthly payment you can barely afford. It's parked in front of a house that stretches your budget so thin, one unexpected expense would send you into panic mode. But you're upset about $2. That's not discipline. That's not financial responsibility. That is cheap thinking. And it's quietly bankrupting your future. My name is Nick. And what I'm about to show you is not another lecture about budgeting apps, skipping lattes, or clipping coupons. This is about the psychological trap that keeps people broke, even when they think they're doing everything right. Because here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Being cheap is driven by fear. Being wealthy is driven by strategy. Until you understand the difference, you can work hard, save aggressively, and still stay stuck forever. Let me give you the most perfect example. You're driving through town and see two gas stations. One is selling gas for $3.89 a gallon. The other, 15 minutes away, is advertising $3.79. You make the smart decision. You drive across town to save 10 cents per gallon. Feels responsible, right? Let's actually do the math. Your car has a 15-gallon tank. You saved $1.50. Congratulations. Except you didn't. That extra drive took 30 minutes round trip. Your car gets about 25 miles per gallon. You burned roughly 1 gallon of gas. At $3.79, that trip cost you $3.79. You spent $3.79 to save $1.50. You literally paid $2.29 for the emotional satisfaction of feeling smart. But it gets worse. What's your time worth? If you earn $25 an hour, that half hour cost you $12.50 in lost time. So the real cost of your savings mission, $14.79. You turned a $1.50 win into a $14.79 loss and felt proud the whole way. That's not a math problem. That's a psychology problem. Imagine a $50 ticket to a professional networking event. A cheap mindset says, $50 for awkward small talk and bad snacks? No thanks. A wealthy mindset thinks differently. If I meet one person here who connects me to a job, a client, or a mentor, that $50 could turn into $50,000. The value isn't the food, it's the access. Here's what makes this mindset shift possible. Security. When you have an emergency fund, even just 3 months of expenses saved, your brain stops operating from fear. Let's talk about the obsession that has infected personal finance. Coffee. You've heard it 1,000 times. Stop buying lattes and you'll be rich. Yes, technically, spending $5 a day on coffee adds up to about $1,825 a year. That's not nothing. But let's be honest, $1,885 a year is not changing your life. Meanwhile, that same person is driving a $47,000 SUV, paying $680 a month, bleeding money on depreciation, insurance, and fuel. They'll debate cereal brands to save 80 cents, then go home to a house that costs $400 more than it should. That's the cheap trap. Sweating the small stuff while ignoring the massive financial leaks. You're bailing water out of a sinking boat while there's a hole in the bottom. Here's something nobody talks about. Every tiny money decision drains your brain. comparing gas prices, calculating price per ounce, debating generic versus name brand. Your brain has limited daily bandwidth. When you waste it on saving 30 cents, you have nothing left for decisions that actually matter. Negotiating your salary? Too tired. Starting a side business? Maybe tomorrow. Learning a skill that doubles your income? Your brain's exhausted from grocery math. Here's a rule that changes everything. If a purchase is under $20 and you have savings, buy what you want and move on. Save your mental energy for $20,000 decisions. Cheap thinking comes from scarcity mindset, the belief that there will never be enough. Not enough money, not enough time, not enough opportunity. So every dollar spent feels permanent, like it's gone forever. Maybe you grew up watching money stress, maybe you entered adulthood during hard times. That mindset kept you safe once. Now it's keeping you broke. You refuse to spend $1,000 on a certification that could raise your income $15,000 a year. Because what if something happens? Someone else sees that $1,000 as seed money. They plant it. They grow it. They are not reckless. They are strategic. Cheap people say, I can't afford that. Wealthy people say, I'm choosing not to spend on that right now. Same decision, completely different psychology. One is powerless, one is intentional. Your brain believes the story you tell it. The most expensive form of being cheap is refusing to invest in yourself. A cheap person won't spend $500 on a course, so they stay stuck earning $45,000 a year. Someone else takes that course, learns the skill, and starts earning $80 an hour. 5 years later, the gap is massive. Same starting point, different mindset. Cheapness destroys health too. Skipping the dentist to save $150. Ignoring a cavity. 2 years later, root canal $1,500. Then extraction and implant $4,000. That $150 would have saved everything. Cheap choices don't just cost money. They cost time, health, and quality of life. Every purchase is a trade. Money for time. Money for ability. Money for peace of mind. A $1,200 laptop that works flawlessly beats a $300 one you replace twice. A good mattress beats back pain for 10 years. The wealthy question isn't, can I afford this? It's, what's the cost of not doing this? One plays defense with pennies, the other plays offense with strategy. You cannot shrink your way to wealth. You can only grow your way there.